Welcome back. While it's been months since many of us have enjoyed a live concert in person, hopefully we'll be back jamming sooner rather than later. But when you head back to hear your favorite band, how loud is too loud when it comes to the music? Well, here this morning with some healthy habits is friend to the show, Dr. Lana Joseph Ford, the founder and CEO of High Level Speech and Hearing Center. Dr. J, how are you, my darling?
Good morning, Malik.
Welcome back. I see a little sign language going on this morning. You are awesome. I love that. Thank you so much for coming on to talk about this because even though a lot of live concerts aren't happening right now because of the pandemic, it's still important that when they do start again, that we talk about this. Can listening to music in entertainment facilities cause hearing loss?
hmm Yes, it can. It can. And that's something that we really need to pay attention to. Okay, yes, we're not there right now. We're not in these larger environments. However, we need to pay attention to our ears in all environments, no matter what. And unfortunately, although we love to enjoy those rock concerts, and I mean, we've got Essence Music Festival, we've got Jazz Fest. We've got so many festivals here in the city. But yes, if we listen to music at loud levels in these different audiences, we can potentially get hearing loss.
And in our last segment, we talked about, how loud is too loud when listening to music with our headphones. Is it the same when we're listening to live music? How loud is too loud?
Yes, absolutely, Malik. So, again, just like we talked about before, I'm going to mention it again because we just can't say it enough. We have to educate the audience about this. You have two things: duration and volume. And when that volume is loud, so a speech, whenever we have normal conversations, we're talking at 65 decibels. But once we get to the point where we're talking at or listening, not talking, listening at 80, 90, 120 decibels, that's really loud. So we cannot listen in those environments in long duration without having some type of pain or harm to our ears.
It's fascinating. And, preparing for this interview, I know that audio and sound engineers, they are able to control, the levels of music during the concerts. But are there any rules when it comes to music levels at concerts?
Yes, there are. So sound engineers or audio engineers, it depends on what title they want to assume, right? But their job at concerts is to modify and also control the volume and duration of the sound that is played. So not only are they charged with making sure that the concert is really fun and engaging and enjoyable, but also they have to make sure that that sound does not get loud enough to cause damage to the crowd's ears as well as the artist's ears. So yes, they play a major role in doing that. And then again, OSHA regulations, other even the city. I worked with the city on a noise ordinance committee for a couple years. So even the city has different regulations that they require for these festivals.
She is busy, ladies and gentlemen, really great. And for some people after a concert, they might start to hear a ringing in their ears. We have talked about this condition. Please remind people what the condition is.
Yes, Malik. That condition is called tinnitus or tinnitus. It depends on where you live. So, tinnitus is one of those conditions that is a result of the hair cells inside of the auditory nerve. We call them cilia dying. And when those hair cells die, they let out like a sound. Like, it's not something that you would hear if I have it or I would hear if you had it, but it is a cry for help, a cry that these nerves are not working the way that they are supposed to be working. So we really need to protect our ears to make sure that we don't get this tinnitus because it can be bothersome.
Tinnitus and hearing loss, two things that can happen when going to live concerts, listening to that music. Now, I wonder, hearing loss obviously is something that can happen, and a lot of young people go to concerts. Can they experience hearing loss at a young age, or is it over? You can't really test to see if you have hearing loss until you reach a certain age.
Yes, Malik, that's a great point. So, yes, young people do get hearing loss. I had a baby actually yesterday who I diagnosed with hearing loss, unfortunately. So, young people can get it, even if they're listening at loud levels, which is why you'll see a lot of the babies with the headphones on their ears when they're out in public. But unfortunately, we can't tell. Noise-induced hearing loss takes a long time before it hits our auditory system and really can damage our system. And we don't detect it, unfortunately, until about 65. That's the most popular age range where you'll see hearing loss detected.
Fascinating. Dr. J, again, thank you so much for the healthy habits this morning. You always bring us some great information, and I cannot wait to see what you bring us next time. People watching, don't forget she has two high level speech and hearing locations, one in New Orleans on Magnolia Street, the other is in Harahan on Jefferson Highway. If you want to set up an appointment with her, call 504-345-2984 or check out this website, highlevelhearingnola.com.